So that was self-financed by myself because none of the local funding bodies wanted to touch it, given the commercial nature of it. If it had been an art piece, yes, they would have probably given me money, but they didn't. So that's £3,500 of my own money in that film, and that's just the production budget. Obviously, I've spent the better part of £1,000 getting here and staying and talking to all you lovely people. We shot over 4 days. We did have some time over days, but we had 2 days in the first location, which was the hospital, and then the other 2 days was in the bottom of a disused swimming pool in the Biker Wall near Newcastle upon Tyne, which is near my home city. And that place was particularly nasty, to say the least. I recall spending 6 hours on day one and everybody mugged in cleaning that place out. Just for that one shot you saw of Howard running up the stairs because he had to do it barefoot. Okay. Who's first?
Shall I pop up with you, Richard?
Oh yeah, by the way, I'd like to introduce Alex Parsons. He's the composer of the film. Yes?
So, how did you come up with the idea? What was the impetus for this?
Okay, towards the start of 2007, I was sitting with Neil Andrew Scandrick, who helped me develop the story idea, and we'd been debating short films and feature films and our plans. And a news article came on and it was talking about GM crops, and there was some trial down south where they found there was cross-contamination between the control sample and the actual sample of these, so-called Franken crops. And that provided the initial germ of an idea, if you pardon the expression. We then said, well, let's take, in the great tradition of sci-fi, let's take it to logical conclusions. So we set it in the near future, we deal with people, and we took present day and exaggerated and tried to extrapolate out, and it sort of developed from there. I'd also been watching Das Boot a lot as well. Yes?
What did you use to shoot it? What format were you using?
That is the camera is the Canon XL-H1, and the format is HDV. The PAL version of that camera, which we were using, doesn't have a 24p mode like the US version, but it has a 25f mode, which is sort of the same thing. I'll get post-production out of the way as well. We used Final Cut Studio 2 for the entire thing. We had a 5.1 mix done on soundtrack. Alex here did all the music and Logic, color corrected in Apple Color, finished off in Final Cut Pro.
Can you tell us a little bit about the music process? And
I'll hand that one over to Alex.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I first met Richard. This is kind of how our situation worked. I was flying over to New York for Christmas, and on the way back, a guy in a suit came kind of sweating down the aisle after this kind of apparent huge run from Cincinnati Airport because he was rushing for his plane. Anyway, we kind of got chatting. That kind of instigated everything. And turned out this guy really liked a band called Boards of Canada. So, that was a common interest. I've been into this.
I think the word you're looking for is obsessed.
Okay, obsessed, yeah. More so than I am. And, we discovered we had similar tastes. And, it turned out he needed this film scoring. I'm a composer, so we hooked up. He was living in London at the time. And he basically just said to me, I want Boards of Canada. And that was about it. So I got to be as free as I wanted with it, really. So it kind of had that Boards of Canada edge, but with a little bit of extra...
Alex Parsons.
Yeah, I guess so.
To be honest, before I really did ask you to do it, you provided me a link to your YouTube page where you had examples of your work on there, and I'll have to turn it up because I've actually got I've actually got the video on the phone here that actually sold me it, and you probably won't be able to hear this, but I'll try anyway. I'll fast forward on a bit. And he did this weird sort of avant-garde experimental stuff, and I'm just like, that's really cool. I want this guy. Alex!
Wonders of YouTube.
Yeah, the wonders of YouTube. Sorry if you can't hear that. So never mind. It's all on his YouTube, and I'm sure you can get the address from him later. Is it on MySpace as well, Alex?
No, not that, just YouTube.
Oh, okay, right, okay. Yes?
I really liked your lighting scheme.
Yes.
Especially down in the area. Can you talk a little bit about that? How much was natural? And
Sure. We rigged up well, if you go on the website for my film, which I think you've already got, we rigged up the practical light, which was that frosted bulb that you saw there. And then the entire film, incidentally, was shot with no more than 400 watt dado lights. And we went for the dados because they were cheaper, and also they got a dimmer control, so you can turn them right down and control the light that way. The real genius of the lighting is, of course, the cinematographer, Richard Ray, who incidentally is also the producer and the big fat security guard. He's slimmed down since then, by the way. Yeah, this was real cottage industry stuff. So the only reason it didn't cost as much as it did is purely because we did all the post-production between myself and the producer in-house with my assistant. But yeah, the lighting's entirely down to him. It looks dark and nasty. When you were there, it wasn't, because what he then did was then turn the gain on the camera down. I think he had it on -6 dBs, and that's purely just to avoid grain. He's got a lot of experience with the XLH1 camera using the stock lens, incidentally, and it came out beautifully. But it's enhanced with putting it in. Anybody else? Put your hand up again, Mark. Well, thank you very much, Paul.